Welcome back. Okay, let's talk about the table. Every kitchen is complete and they have some sort of table that we gather at together. Okay? In the last video, I talked about containers and I talked about how you needed to face them, pull them out, and write down what you thought about them. So I hope you did, because here's a little bit more that I'd like you to think about. Most of us have pulled out at least, well, more than likely, more than one container. Okay, you know, that emotional container. If you really go back and look at what it is you wrote, there were probably more than one container in it. But you were on a path and you didn't really realize it, and it kind of blended into one. So kind of separate it. Look and see if there's a little bit more than one in that container that you took out. So with each container, I'd like you to take that container and put it on the table. By that container, I mean the piece of paper. That piece of paper that you wrote about each container. Place it on the table. Then I would love you. Okay, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait just a minute for you to place it on the table. Now I'd like you to invite someone that you listed or saw in that container. I personally call it that person part of the ingredients that was in the container. Now I'm going to ask you if it is possible to really physically do this, okay? If you can invite that person over and then discuss it. Discuss the things that you discovered while you were opening the container, and basically ask that person or say to that person, this is how you made me feel. Now, I know you probably didn't intentionally do that. But if you did, can you explain to me why? Help me to overcome some of the things that have been kind of stuck in a container that I now need to address and decide what I need to do with it. Once that person discusses a few things, the ingredients, once that person starts to discuss a little bit more about why or what they can do or what's already been done, I'm going to ask you to do something else. Now, is it a container that you can throw away? Or does it need a little bit more work? Chances are, on occasion, it needs just a little bit more work. So now, I'm going to ask you to dig a little deeper. I'm going to ask you to go into your food pantry. You see, that's another part of the kitchen that hasn't been discussed yet. So I want you to go into the food pantry and I want you to look at some of the things that are the first things you see. Turn them upside down or whatever, wherever the expiration date is. Now, you may have to dig back even deeper in your food pantry because if you haven't rotated things, again, kind of like the leftovers in the refrigerator, keeps getting shoved back, you might find things that have expired even more. So I'm not talking about the best sell-by date. I'm talking about the real expiration date. There are times that we have emotional containers. And no matter how hard we try to do these things on our own, we need extra help because there are some things and occasions that the expiration dates are there. Now, they may be because somebody's passed away. They may be because somebody has got maybe dementia, Alzheimer's, things that those people can't help us with anymore. When that happens, sometimes we need a little extra help to dig a little deeper. And I would suggest that you start writing down, what is it that still remains in your heart? And would it make a difference if that person could help you? What are the things that you would ask? Think about that really deep. So, are they things now that you can finally take out of your pantry? Are they things that are in there that you just haven't dealt with, but at the same time, the more you look at it, the more it probably wouldn't make a difference anyway? Is it just things you've left there that just cluttered up? Take those cans and those packages out. Throw them away. If they no longer serve us, or they could even help if you have a question, maybe it's just time to move forward. Pull those things out of that cupboard so you can begin to make room for something fresher, for something new, or maybe something you haven't even tried yet. You see, when we get to a certain point that we're able to pull those things out, we can actually explore more things than we've ever dreamt of before. Because some of those cans, as you set them on your table again, can you finally put some of them down to throw them out and then put some new ones? Go get some new cans and then call them hope, forgiveness, can you do that? Is there someone or some can? How's that? I always call that someone a can because we're talking food pantry. So is there someone in that can called trauma that you can forgive? If so, write down their name and write them a letter. And then read it, and read it deep, and read it hard. And then at the end of it, smile. Let it go. Burn it. Because the forgiveness that you're trying to find for somebody else is the forgiveness that totally sets you free. You don't have to carry it anymore. It wasn't. You see, don't let that hardness carry on in your heart anymore. You can finally say, I took control. I chose to set it free. And it feels so good. So, remember, that's your action call. Write a letter to them, burn it, let it go, and forgiveness sets you free. Okay, catch you in the next video.